Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 21 of the My Son the Traitor series. Today's episode, we are going with a Nitro, first Nitro after Fall Brawl, and of course we've got a very important signing that we're trying to sign at the moment, and that is Eddie Guerrero. So we need to make sure we sort of focus on him and actually getting him. I'm very tempted to go in for Test as well. I know a lot of you guys were sending me comments saying that Test would be a very, very good signing for WCW, especially around this time. He's only 26 years old. He's Canadian as well. There was a comment suggesting Test and Mike Awesome as a tag team together could run absolute roughshod through the division and be an incredible signing for us. So I think we're going to go in for him as well, depending on what we're sort of looking at. I know everyone's sort of getting a little bit maybe frustrated by me with my 10-year contracts, but I'm going to keep doing it for now, if that makes sense. These types of guys, I want to be locking them down. I know it's not really realistic, but I think part of the problem with WCW was the contracts that were given out. So the fact that I'm giving out a 10-year contract, might be a bit of a gamey way to sort of prevent ourselves from being like original WCW, where their contracts were running out, they became more popular, therefore they negotiated more money. I can understand where you guys are coming from, but at the end of the day, I'm enjoying the series, and I've still got the same mindset of my local to global, which was, to try and do the absolute sort of best that I can with what we've got. I know our finances are much, much higher than what I had on that series, but give him 10% bonus as well. Hopefully, still a better offer. What's the other offer? So we're going to have to give him 20% regardless. There we go. We'll go like that. I think Test will be good. Yeah. Part of me wants... Yeah, I think we pretty much have to keep his name as Test. Andrew Martin just doesn't really have the same sort of ring to it. And I was talking about bringing in Jerry Lynn as well on like a pay-per-appearance deal. We'll see what we do with that. Evan Courageous, though, is someone that I probably do want to re-sign. Kid Romeo as well, probably. He's got decent popularity, so we'll renegotiate with both of them. What are their current contracts? It's probably what I should take a look at first. So he had a 2-year contract. See, these guys that I'm not really too fussed with, I'm happy to like give them further 2-year contracts, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's not really... I feel like we essentially give him 6,100 per month, which is very, very little. I'm happy to do that. Same for Evan Courageous. Kiwi will be let go. I want to sort of at least thin out the roster a little bit. I do actually kind of like Courageous, so I might give him a 3-year deal. He wants 6,000. Perfectly fine for 3 years. Why was that like that? That was very strange. Make sure everything's okay there. All right. Let me just double check that last contract with Kid Romeo. Yeah, good. I don't know why that just changed, unless the scroll bar sort of popped up there. I think that's everything, because we're going to be doing something here as well. So let me delete all that. I'm going to advance 1 day. just to sort of see what happens, and then we'll get into the pay-per-view. So we're essentially not going to see if we've signed Eddie as of this episode. That'll probably be next episode over the coming days going forward. But we've got Johnny the Bull here lifting the locker room, and then we've got Hennig and DDP. So DDP being taken before Wrestlers Court there with Hennig. Interesting. Alrighty. I don't think we do a rib. I don't think we bother with that at the moment, to be honest. I think we'll just keep running in the southeast for a little while. What's our usual venue here? Mid-South Coliseum. I mean, we're expecting 10,500. Is there any... Yeah, that's probably a better venue there. Let's run there. The Mississippi Coast Coliseum. Because it gives us a little bit of extra room on top. So we'll do that for now. And we need to go back. Back to the main stream because we need to do storylines. Alright. Here we go. So, the World Heavyweight title, Canyon did lose. So we're going to remove Canyon out of the storyline. And then Jeff Jarrett is going to go straight into a world title storyline. Basically, it's going to be unfinished business for Jarrett. Coming back in after his Warner contract has run out. And yeah, Shane McMahon, Jarrett, I think it will be Jarrett's debut here tonight. I'm pretty certain that it is, but yeah. Anyway, this one's going to be... we're going to take Chavo out. Obviously, Chavo lost in a very, very good United States title match. And then we're also going to do this. So, Resurgence of Team Canada. We are going to remove Lance. We're going to remove Awesome. And we're going to remove... I think we'll remove Steen as well. So we'll keep them because the resurgence of Team Canada is essentially going to continue. We're going to keep going with that storyline as well. But they're all going to be involved in the United States title. With Lance Storm, of course, he had that win over Rob Van Dam on a previous Nitro last month. Therefore, he's essentially made himself fall into contention as a result of getting that victory over the champion. So we're going to run with that for this month. And it just provides a nice little... it provides a very good opponent for Rob Van Dam. But then it also has some nice little sort of feeder people up to Lance Storm at the pay-per-view, being Kevin Steen, Mike Awesome. We can do sort of tag team matches. We can do six-man, multi-man matches, six-man tags with Rob Van Dam, possibly finding a tag team or other partners. Yeah, I mean, realistically, we could throw in someone like American Dragon with him to give American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, a bit of momentum, a win on TV as well. So lots of stuff we can do with that. Anyway, I like that how it is. We'll leave it there for now because I don't want to actually get rid of that storyline because it is going to continue after this month. World Tag, that's going to continue. We're going to have a tag team of competitors for them. Going forward, Fully Blooded Italians will also continue. Let me chuck in Tracy Smothers. We're going to make a signing for that one as well. It's going to be Big Vito. We're going to be bringing him in as well for the Fully Blooded Italians. That one's fine. That's staying how it is. New School versus Old School. This one will finish with Jindrak and Stasiak because they're going to be put into the World Tag Team title storyline. And as you can tell, they're going to be our new #1 contenders after I would say a pretty good month, especially for Stasiak, having that pay-per-view match. I know DDP was injured, but I think it it just worked. It just worked. All right. We need an opponent for DDP. We're going to continue with this one here as well. It's going to be Buff versus Super Crazy. So we'll remove Sean O'Hare from that one. And then Dustin versus Shane, Dream to Nightmare. This is going to be the final month for this particular storyline involving Dustin and Shane. And there's going to be some interesting stuff going on going into next month's, or this month's pay-per-view. I think it's Halloween Havoc, if I remember from the previous screen. And then I think we will continue just with this Vader's Problem storyline. We're going to do some interesting stuff. Might not have a match at the pay-per-view. It might just be more of a Nitro storyline without any real sort of big payoff, potentially. It's more just to have Vader doing something and having matches, getting these guys on TV to the point where hopefully they will eventually beat Vader. I do have a plan for Vader in the future as well. Anyway, is there anyone else in the roster that isn't really doing anything? Obviously, Canyon's not really doing anything at the moment. Let's do this. So the storyline with New School versus Old School, we're going to add, where is he? Kurt Hennig going to come in. Where is he? Sean O'Hare's coming in. And maybe Chavo, although I don't know if Chavo's good enough. Probably Canyon. I think we go with that, to be honest. Sort of going to be like a number one contenders match. For next month, anyway. So we'll have a fatal four-way at the pay-per-view. Plus a couple of tag team matches. And there is some old school in there with Kurt Hennig and DDP. And there is some new school in there with Canyon and Sean O'Hare. So it still kind of makes sense within the storyline purposes. Anyway, now we've got to think about show booking. So, main event, pretty easy one. We're going to have the debut of the re-debut of Jeff Jarrett. He will take on, I think, just Hugh Morris, someone like that. I don't think we really need to put anyone too crazy in there, so we'll do that. I think we'll just give it 12 minutes. Again, it really doesn't need to be anything too special. It can be decisive. We'll keep it open. I'm not really doing anything with Morris at the moment. I don't really rate him that highly, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. I'm going to have a promo with Jarrett, putting a promo onto Booker T with Booker off screen to begin with. That'll be Jarrett by himself. Jarrett doesn't want to be scripted either. That's actually a good thing. And then we're going to have a post-match angle as well, with Booker coming out following Jarrett's win, and then having a bit of a war of words about their unfinished business. A little bit more one-handed typing. And I'd like Anderson for that one as well. So again, more success for the storyline. And that one will go after the match, because that'll be a much better angle, especially for the ratings. Cool. All right. Up next, let's have a tag team match. And I want to have, so we'll go Steen, and where is he? PCO. And they can just take on the team of Rob Van Dam. Need a face. American Dragon. American Dragon just makes sense. So let's do that. It's going to be a short little 6-minute match. We'll We'll give Rob the win. I'm going to give PCO the loss, because it doesn't really matter. I don't really want to give Steen the loss, because he's going to be hopefully a mid-card push once we finish with Johnny the Bull. Obviously, Rob Van Dam himself, he's almost finished anyway. And then Chavo. So I don't actually have anything for Chavo this month. We might find something for him to do, potentially with Guido, maybe, with Johnny the Bull. I think there's a little bit of something we could maybe throw him in there with, at least for a couple of matches or something on Nitro. Anyway. We'll have that be, I think that can be a steal of the show, to be honest. Might give it 8 minutes then. I like that match. We'll have an angle with Lance. We'll have an angle with Mike. We'll have an angle with Kevin. DCO. We'll chuck Natty in there as well. So, do I want to go entertainment for all of them, or just the main people in there, which is, well, realistically, it's only going to be Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm, who are the main ones. They're going to be talking about Rob off camera before the match, essentially allowing themselves, or Lance Storm stating that he is the #1 contender because he's beaten the champion. He's beaten the United States champion, wants to win the title, essentially to shove it down the throats of the American people, essentially proving that Canada is better than America. Yeah, with an Australian booking everything. Interesting. Anyway, what do we do next? Cruiserweights. We're going to, I guess, use Billy Kidman. We'll run Billy Kidman versus Shane Helms. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it with that. So we might do that as well. Let's have a match with Kidman, and he can take on Skipper. Should be a good match, realistically. I mean, Kidman's pretty good. Nice and easy. We'll have an angle following that with Shane Helms and Billy. Very simple, very easy. And I'll explain that one once we get into the show. What else have we got? Tag teams. Let's do some tag team stuff. I'm going to have Anguish taking on Jindrak and Stasiak. 6 minutes. We'll give the win to Jindrak. The loser is actually going to be super crazy. Yeah, we'll do this. So it's going to be open, scripted, painted. And then we're going to have outside interference finish onto Crazy by Buff Bagwell. Simple. #1 contenders match here for the World Tag Team titles. And then we'll have a promo with Jindrak and Stasiak. Do we go with Anguish? Yeah, I guess so. Go Psychosis and Super Crazy. They can just be off camera. There's no real need for success in that one anyway. So that's good like that. Will probably be our storytelling. Perfect. Did we actually get Johnny the Bull up to recognizable? We did. We finally got him up there. That's perfect. As a result of that, he can have a match on this card and actually have a singles match where he's not going to get penalized. Maybe Kiwi. Kind of perfect, actually. Potentially take a little bit of popularity from him, if we can. And then we'll have a follow-up angle to continue that. Maybe even we just continue it with Johnny the Bull himself. Just have Johnny getting a promo onto Guido and Tracy. I like it. All right. Up next, I want to do something with this. I can probably get a main event or two out of these guys, whether it be tag team action. So I think we'll give Canyon a match and Sean O'Haire a match each. Canyon can take on Punk. Really good match, to be fair. Have they actually done this match before? They have not. I like it though. And then we'll go straight from that one into... We'll have this one before it, technically. And that'll be Sean O'Haire. And he can take on... maybe someone like a Sanders. They've got native chemistry, maybe not Sanders. Jamie Noble. We'll get Kid Romeo. Kid Romeo. Got the same sort of level as Punk at the moment. Slightly more popularity. Cool. So we'll do that one as well. In between, we're going to have a Sean O'Haire Canyon run-in. So, yep, they're going to run into each other ringside. Advancing that storyline, perfect. I like that. That'll go after O'Haire's match, leading into Canyon's match as well. Which will lead into our main event for next week, the next episode. What else we got? We can do something with Vader. We'll probably just kick the show off. I'll just literally chuck an angle on. Dustin and Shane. I mean, it's pretty much a same sort of thing every week at this point, but you guys probably get the gist of it. That'll kick us off. We'll check a Vader Menace angle in there, maybe on to AJ. Have them in a match next week. Just a short little 4-minute angle. Check that one there. We need a wild brawl. Probably go this one. And we're pretty much in time. So we would not be penalized. Always need to make sure I take a good look at that. Who are we not using though? So not using DDP, not using Hennig, not using Chavo at this point. We're going to use Hennig and we're going to use DDP next episode, so they can pretty much miss out this first one. I might just give Chavo promo, just literally by himself. Like that. And we'll just place that a little bit further back in the show. And the back one. Perfect. Yeah, that's how much time we have. I might bump this one up by 2 minutes and we'll just go with that. I know it's an 8-minute angle, but I mean, it's unfinished business. It's going to be a pretty long angle regardless. We'll do a couple pre-show tag matches as per usual. It is sort of the go-to. We'll have Fully Blooded Italians taking on Lowdown. We'll give them 12. Nice little pre-show match. Give Chaz a win. And then do another one. We'll have Team Canada taking on maybe Kendrick and Styles. Yeah, Kendrick and Styles. And we'll give Awesome the win as well. Cool, that's the pre-show. I think that one's going to do better, so we'll slot that there. And let's run the show. All right, so we start off with a 59 rated tag team pre-show match where we have Lowdown defeating Fully Blooded Italians in 12-18 when Chaz pinned Tracy Smothers with a burning hammer. Yeah, good stuff. Good match. Guido actually performed really well, 56. Happy with that. And we then go into the second pre-show match, getting us a 65 for this one, where we have Team Canada defeating AJ Styles and Brian Kendrick in 12-15 when Mike Awesome pinned Brian Kendrick with an awesome bomb. We can probably turn... I guess we maybe need an actual turn segment. But I think it's about time we turn Tori Wilson. Anyway, here we go. Kicking the show off with an 83 rated angle. We get the penalties here that I know some of you guys have been commenting on as far as the announcing team. We're going to be dealing with that next episode as well. It's sort of just hard going from the pay-per-view straight into the Nitro the day after. It doesn't really allow us to make any signings straight after a pay-per-view. But yeah. Anyway, Dustin comes out, addresses his loss to Shane McMahon, basically saying that he only lost the Texas Death Match because Shane McMahon literally put his life on the line. And yeah, it paid off for him. Dustin says it's one win apiece at the pay-per-views. There needs to be a decider, and there needs to be a third and final match. And Dustin says he's not going to let himself be the loser in that one. All right, we then go straight into a 66 rated angle, menace angle here for Vader. He basically tries to punk out AJ Styles backstage using his size and stature and aggressiveness. We'll go with that. Anyway, it's actually a really good menace angle, so I'm very happy with that. We then go into the first match of the night on Nitro, getting us a 55 rating. We have the solo Sean O'Haire defeating Kid Romeo in 5:58 by pinfall with a senton bomb. Good match. Nice little win there for Sean. We're going to try and bring him up into the upper mid-card level. Have him be sort of another upper mid-card face that we can use. I feel like him and Canyon could have a really good match next week on the next episode. Anyway, we then go into a 67 rated angle with Sean O'Haire and Canyon. They sort of have a bit of a run-in at ringside after O'Haire's match. O'Haire's sort of finished celebrating. He's then started to walk back, sort of up the side where they go out the side stage after a win. And obviously Canyon's coming down the ramp as his music's playing. They have a bit of a verbal back and forth, bit of a argy-bargy, if you will, going chest to chest. They look like they're about to brawl, but then Sean O'Haire sort of brushes him off. Canyon then gets in the ring, still sort of, barking at him from the top of the ring as O'Haire's, finally makes his way backstage. But an aggressive run-in and a good little, I guess, precursor to next episode's main event. We then go into an 80 rated match for Canyon. And we have Canyon defeating CM Punk in 5:35 by pinfall with a flatliner. 80 rated, wild brawl. Very interesting. I mean, it is Canyon. He's very good. But I wasn't really expecting that to be an 80, if I'm honest. Maybe a 70. I sort of, thought about a 70. But yeah, very happy with that. We move on. We go into a 58 rated angle for Chavo Guerrero. Just a bit of a promo discussing his loss, saying that he needs to take a little bit of time to sort of recuperate and get himself back on track as he wants to become a champion here in WCW, and he still has his sights set on the United States title. We then go into a 47 rated angle where we have Johnny the Bull cutting a promo onto the Fully Blooded Italians, of course Guido, Smothers, and then Johnny has a match up next. But that's a really good promo. 47 by himself. I like it. His match as well, getting us a 51. See, no penalties. No penalties, and we get good ratings. Johnny the Bull defeating Kiwi in 6:29 by pinfall with a diving, spinning leg drop. Good match. Good match. Hopefully that'll actually give him a little bit of popularity. 51, considering Johnny had a 44, Kiwi had a 38. It's a good rated match. Very happy with that one. All right, we then go to a 49 rated angle where we have Jindrak and Stasiak cutting a promo as they're going into the number one contenders match for the World Tag Team titles against Anguish. That number one contenders match getting us a 52 rating, where we indeed have Jindrak and Stasiak defeating Anguish in 5:34 when Jindrak pinned Super Crazy with a diving clothesline following interference from Buff Bagwell. So Buff has not forgotten about Super Crazy and has essentially cost Anguish their number one contenders status going into Halloween Havoc. And Jindrak and Stasiak have capitalized and pulled off a big win there. Also, big win for Jindrak. He was off his game, which is frustrating. But hopefully we'll try and get him up to being important with the fans, or at least recognizable. So he can start having matches by himself with lower mid-carders and stuff. All right, we then go straight into a 62 rated angle here. We have Billy Kidman defeating Elix Skipper in 5:52 by pinfall with a shooting star press. Really good match for the cruiserweights here. I mean, it's Billy Kidman. He's very good. But they also have great chemistry, Skipper and Kidman. So very good stuff. Good match. And then we follow that into a 51 rated angle. We have the cruiserweight champion Shane Helms coming to ringside and basically says that he wants to face the best cruiserweights WCW has, and he recognizes that that is Billy Kidman at this stage. So he challenges Kidman to a match at the pay-per-view, and Kidman accepts that challenge. Good little storyline. We then go into a 73 rated angle with all of Team Canada. Of course, they've got a match up next, being Awesome and Steen. But Lance Storm, he mentions Rob Van Dam. He mentions that he beat him. And like I said earlier, he says he wants to prove that Canada is better than America by winning the United States title. Very good angle. Lance is, despite not having the best entertainment skills, he's really... his overness is sort of carrying him to good ratings, which are probably going to just help him a little bit more as well. The match itself getting a 66 rating here. Rob Van Dam and American Dragon defeating Kevin Steen and PCO. Thought it was awesome. It's actually PCO in 8:23 when Rob Van Dam pinned PCO with a frog splash. Unfortunately, Rob was off his game, and PCO and Kevin Steen have zero chemistry as tag team partners. So a little bit frustrating on that side of things. It's perfectly fine because they are probably the two lower mid carders in the stable at the moment. But yeah, good match, good win there for hopefully for American Dragon as well. Him being American kind of adds a little bit more into the storyline, or at least having this match. And even him sort of teaming up with Rob to take on Team Canada. It just works. We then go into a 77 rated angle. We have the re-debut of Jeff Jarrett. He says that he wants a chance at the World Heavyweight title, the title he recently held, and it's a title that he needs to get back. Jarrett, superb, working without a script. Very good stuff. We got an initial rating of adequate for Jarrett's chosen one gimmick, which is actually pretty good. Small boost of star quality as well. Something that'll be beneficial. We then go into the main event, which kind of falls a little bit flat, which makes sense because Jarrett has no momentum. It is what it is. We get a 68, but we indeed have the re-debuting Jeff Jarrett defeating Hugh Morris in 12:24 by pinfall with a forward Russian leg sweep. Probably could have given it 16 and had a slow build to it, and it might have actually done better. Maybe that's a little bit my fault, potentially. I don't know. Either way, it is what it is. I'm going to show you guys the dirt sheet a little bit more. That was also sort of commented upon. But yeah, there's not really too many negatives. Getting some bonuses there from Robinson, Anderson, hot crowd. Negative there for stamina for Morris. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad match, but it's also not a great match. So I think I might stick to 15-minute matches, 15-minute, 16-minute main event matches. Because I'm thinking that the lower rating is probably due to the lower main event match time. That's my thought process on it anyway. We move on to a 90 rated angle where we have Booker T and Jeff Jarrett in the ring together. Booker T cutting promos, Jarrett's responding, got unfinished business, and of course they finish the show brawling with each other, road agents coming out, the locker room coming out, referees, everyone coming out, security, and excuse me, they essentially separate him. Show goes off the air, and unfortunately Jarrett was very underwhelming. So it is what it is. They both improvise well without a script. But yeah, underwhelming for Jarrett. Overall show rating, it's a little bit lower than we're used to, but it is the first Nitro of the month. We get a 78 overall show rating there. Does still increase our popularity, but I believe that they're probably just the 5 regions in Canada that are actually being improved. So a little bit frustrating. We need to be getting 80s and above to sort of increase the popularity for those other regions apart from Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. We need, I think, maybe 83 and above to actually get those regions some points of popularity. So we're already 77 in those regions, so it's perfectly fine. But we just need to be more consistent with those 80 plus ratings. Take a look at Raw. Raw absolutely smashing us this week, getting an 87 for their Monday night show. Couple of really good main events. I mean, Jericho defeating Benoit to retain the World Heavyweight title, getting a 99. And yeah, Rock and Stone Cold defeating Big Show and Kurt Angle, getting a 98. Very rough. Eddie Guerrero, though, defeating Dean Malenko and Rikishi as well. So he's still the Intercontinental Champion. Interesting. All right. Let's see what we've got here. New Japan are putting in offer for Eddie Guerrero as well. And WWF have put an offer in for Scott Hall. Interesting. $125,000 per month. And $82,000. So they're only giving him 10% bonus. What an interesting, like, I'm surprised he's wanting to go to the WWF over New Japan. They're paying him about $43,000 extra per month. With about, I suppose the merchandise is probably the big difference there. And it's about 6 months shorter. Yeah. Interesting one. Very interesting. We're not going to go for Scott Hall, though. We don't really need him. He's 42, so he's sort of essentially DDP for us, if that makes sense. But very interesting. Very interesting. The fact that New Japan are going for Eddie kind of frustrates me a little bit. WWF have gone in for another massive offer there. But New Japan are just throwing money. They're literally throwing money, which we're also going to have to do as well. I was only going to give him 10%. They're going to give him 20% now, so we're pretty much going to have to match that at a minimum. And we do actually take the best offer there as well. Cool. Test as well. He's probably got another offer in, a bit of a higher offer. Yep, from WWF. With 20% per event, which we've already given. 30% of merchandise, so I'll bump that up to 20. Then we're going to have to go a little bit higher with the old funds. So we'll go 30,000. See if he nibbles. He's nibbling on it. We'll go 32. Hopefully that'll be enough. Nope, still not. Merchandise 25. There we go. All right. Cool. So those two offers are in. I mean, Test is really young, which is really good. And then Guerrero's 33, so he's pretty much in the peak of his career. Lovely stuff. TV rating 1.17, slightly lower, 880,000 viewers there. And yeah, that is going to end the episode, guys. It's been a good one. Drop a like. We've got the new storylines up and running. Didn't really increase in size. We're up to 74s in those other regions. Gained a little bit of popularity in Canada from this episode, which is, it is what it is. It's good. Johnny the Bull did gain a point of popularity. Very nice. You'll love to see it. And we continue on. And I'm looking forward to next episode. I think Canyon versus Sean O'Hare is going to be a really good main event. Probably a decent amount better than this episode's main event match. The angle was good. Obviously, it's Booker T. It's always going to be good. But yeah, let's see what happens on next episode. Drop a like I said. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.